for Cashmore. Vidiri. Here's a chance. This could be one of the great tries. Yes, it is.
To watch someone like Joeli was just a joy, you know. Joey was probably the first one where you go, wow, that's just... You can't coach that shit, as we would say.
I think I said it last week, if he hasn't got a lotto ticket, he should get one. Unbelievable skills from the big man.
Good afternoon. How are you today?
Good. Fine, work gloves.
The work gloves?
Gloves,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right down in R17, last aisle there. My full name is Joeli Vidiri. Vidiri Natambua, Nandrumbalabu, Nalevanda. I was born in Fiji, in the village called Nausori Highland, in the province of Nanronganavosa. That's when a lot of people, when I grew up, who was closer to me, my uncles, my aunties, and my cousins and all that, they said that he had a little bit of talent and you're going to be, go further on your sports, yeah. When I first came to New Zealand in '94, I was playing for Pukekoi Rugby Club. I was during the winter time here in New Zealand. It was something else, you know, with the wet and cold, with the mud. I was lying down in a rack and someone on the opposite side said, welcome to club rugby in New Zealand.
When he played his second game, he got the ball in his 22, I believe, ran over a couple and sprinted away. No one could catch him, and then we thought, he's got some skills, he's fast. I think that's the first impression, was the speed that he had was horrendous. Joeli,
you know, was incredibly fast, but you didn't really know how fast he was until you were on the field with him.
Joeli Vidiri, being chased by Duggan. I don't think he's going to stop him, he won't.
I was playing for Pukekoi Rugby Club and then Counties Manukau, playing alongside Jonah in the Counties team. We formed a great friendship, which is like brothers, and to rub shoulder with him and to learn from him was great, and to know the big man.
Both Jonah and Joeli changed the landscape around how a wing should play.
Joeli Vidiri, Murray would love to see in space with the ball in hand today.
Well, that's where he's so exciting. Vidiri ball in hand is sensational because he's got, well, perhaps he's the fastest man in the NPC. He's really got speed.
And that's the man on the other wing, back for just his second game in the starting lineup.
You sort of knew what Jonah was going to do, right? And then you tried to stop it, but then you didn't really know what Joeli was going to do, which made it just a different sort of excitement.
But it's desperate stuff here for Counties. Joeli Vidiri bursting through. He's got pace, he's got room, he's gone. Joeli Vidiri's got his second. And once again, it's come from nothing.
There were some great wingers back then. You got the late Jonah Lomu, very crass, one of the best in the world, Jeff Wilson. For me to come in to fight my way through with these great players, it's going to take a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication.
I thought he had things in his game that he would have to work on, like looking at it from a pure technical point of view, but I certainly thought he was going to be an All Black, would be an All Black.
Although he's been overshadowed by that other Counties winger, Fijian Joeli Vidiri has been one of the stars of this season's NPC. He's now a wanted man. Fiji wants him for its tour of Wales and Ireland, while the All Black selectors originally placed him on their list of standby players for the French tour. But as far as Vidiri is concerned, there's no contest.
Right now I've decided to be available for the New Zealand All Blacks.
But therein lies the problem. While Vidiri has made his home here at the Pukekoi Stadium over the past 2 seasons, he can't play for the All Blacks. He played for Fiji earlier this year, and under current rules, must wait 3 years before he can change countries.
I get plenty of time, still young now, I'm still 22. Had plenty of time to go for that.
Is Joeli's played his best rugby, I believe, in that stand-down period of those 3 years. I think that was when he was in best form.
For me to watch and stand down for 3 years was pretty hard for me. To make that decision and sitting at home watching them was pretty hard.
Second by 8.
Jonah Lomu is off and replaced by his great mate Joeli Vidiri.
My first All Black test was in 1998 at Eden Park.
Now Mertens missing out Spencer, straight to Ralph. Now Spencer gets involved. And Vidiri with his pace. Joeli Vidiri, first test try.
That's the start of a new journey for me.
You know, I thought he'd carry on getting from strength to strength and getting better and better. But yeah, he had a bit of a flat patch around that time, I think. He just lacked energy, I think, lacked concentration. You know, and he started dropping a bit of ball and missing a few tackles and stuff like that.
I started to get struggle a little bit on running and all that, and yeah, I was not that, the energy was just drained out of me and all that.
Back in those days, do the 3K runs and stuff, and Joey just hated it, you know, and so I'd run it with him or talk to him about it, and he'd just say, I'm tired. I'd check, I'm tired, you know.
That's when we started to had a conversation with my doctor that I detect that he got a kidney problem. Yeah.
For me, you know, when Joeli was unwell, but no one knew, he was just a lazy bastard. And that's unfair on him. But there's not, how else do you react, you know? Like, we're thinking that Joey's popping off home to Fiji and eating too much and lying around doing nothing, being lazy, so we stereotype him. And he's genuinely tired, and then he does the 3K and he gets lapped by, you know, the coaching staff even, then it just mounts pressure on the poor man. Joey never complained. Joey never told anyone. We didn't even know. For us, when you look back, you think, wow, you know, did we treat him fairly?
To be honest with you, I struggled at the hospital. The nurses and the doctors, they were not happy about me because I was arrogant, because I was stubborn.
Oh, I think any major illness, regardless of who you are or whatever you're doing, there's a period of disbelief, a period of not wanting to believe, and also when it's attached to your livelihood. So what, you've got a life-threatening illness and then you're not allowed to do the job that's bringing in your income. That's pretty traumatic time for anyone.
It was hard for me to absorb that. It was hard for me to accept that because I knew that there was plenty of me left. It was a hard time to hang my boots, come away from that something I love, and try to look after my life. Yeah. In 2008, there was the first time I experienced for me to go and have a kidney transplant. Mom was here with me. So we went together because we haven't had the chance to sit down and explain to her what's going on and all that. And that's probably the thing that sort of you know, make me change my mind when I was in the Auckland hospital, ready to go, because she was there crying by my bed. And see her like that, I had to tell my doctor for me to pull up.
I don't think you can truly understand the strength of a culture unless you are brought up in it. And, you know, I think for, you know, Pākehā or Pailangi view of that would be very difficult to understand. You know, you've got a life-threatening thing, you're turning down a kidney because of your mum, when the first response would be, well, wouldn't your mum want you to do that?
In her mind, that's probably the last time we'll see each other. My older sister, she passed in 1987. he said that she was going to drop me back to school. And on our way, and we had an accident on the road. So, on our way to the hospital, they take her straight to the operation room and all that, and they couldn't do anything because she got a broken ribs, and that broken ribs poke is her heart. And for me, it was hard to farewell a friend, a sister, that they're supporting me also, right, during my growing up. And it was hard, yeah. For me and her, we brought up a hardworking woman. It sort of give me no option but to work hard and support her.
In 2010, Jonah's old manager called me to see if I had a job for Joeli.
No.
Staff love him, customers love him. They all come up, shake his hand, and he gives them time. Kids gives them time.
You know, the kids come up and say hello and give me a high five and all that. And I really enjoy it, so I can interact with the young kids and young people in the shop here. See you, man. How are you, sir?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad. It's a bit hot. In 2015 was the year that I finally have a kidney transplant. Mom was here again. We were sort of lie down here and all that. And I was sleeping and she was by my side. She woke me up at about 3 o'clock in the morning. She said, your phone has been ringing. I said, the hospital just rang. I got a kidney waiting for me. And she said, what are you waiting for? Prepare yourself. I think in that same year too, the big man, the late Jonah Lomu, passed away that year too. It was hard when when I heard the news about Jonah. And it was hard. He was a good friend, a good brother, and a good mate and all that. And that's sort of a wake-up call for me.
Well, that's an emphatic victory by the Blues. The star of the show is this man, Joeli Vidiri. 4 tries out of the 8 that were scored to take him to the top of the all-time try scorers list in Super 12.
Well, it's bring back memories standing at this ground in Eden Park.
We missed out on a huge potential of what Joeli could have achieved if he was fully fit, you know, and he didn't have the kidney issue. He would have been, yeah, we missed a lot. We did miss a lot.
You know, if you watch players from our area, sometimes you get pretty bored pretty quickly, but you watch Joeli, he'd get out there tomorrow and cut it up. You know, you could watch him on YouTube and love it just because he had, you know, just had everything. So tomorrow, he'd be a superstar.
Now it's the 5th year of my transplant. And at the moment, looking back, there's no regrets. You know, life, the things happen and you have to just move forward. And there's more things to do and enjoy the life that you still have.